great experiences need not be rushed. That's what Ace Restaurateur A.D. Singh has to say. And today at Times Foodie, we have with us Ace Restaurateur A.D. Singh, a name that needs no introduction, a name behind brands like Monkey Bar, Olive, Soda Bottle Opener Wala and Guppy. And yes, someone who has given Delhi some of the best pizzas years ago, when even a good pizza was a dream. Hi A.D. Welcome to Times Now Foodie. It's great to have you with us. So tell me, it said, I have, correct me if I'm wrong, I've heard you started the whole business with a very small amount of 50K. What inspired you to be a part of the F&B industry and be a trendsetter?
Trendsetting, I guess, has been lucky because the F&B industry, for people like us, when I started in 1990, was almost non-existent.
True.
There were good restaurants, good Indian food, good regional food, etc. But cool spots, fun spots, trendy spots, not really. And me, along with a few others, we sort of really pioneered the standalone restaurant industry in India. And so it's, in a way, been lucky for us, easier for us. It was very different to what you see today.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So what inspired you to start and enter the F&B industry?
It's a good question because I'm a trained engineer. Nobody in my family are restaurateurs, chefs, or frankly even entrepreneurs. So it's a big jump. But it's a long story. I'd done a party for my sister getting married on a boat. But it was a huge success. So that's how I started. And actually I'm not a businessman, I'm a dreamer. So about a couple of years into it, I thought, what next? And from birth, I have incorrigible sweet tooth. To date, I realized that there was no place to go to get great desserts. And so I dreamt of opening a place where we could get that quality of desserts, but by the slice, like a cafe.
Right.
As you asked, I didn't have any money that time. My mom put together about 50,000 rupees. Of course, that was much more then than it is today. And with that, I spoke to, 20, 25 places all over the working areas, which used to shut by 6 when the working crowd went home. And finally, somebody called me back and said, okay, it was a Irani cafe, and it actually looked perfect for what I was thinking. Did some permanent decor, and then we'd go in every evening, put tablecloths and some temporary decor. And it transformed into really quite a good looking, like a French cafe. And I knew what I wanted to do, but I had no expertise in it. Luckily, Rahul Akirkar had moved back to India. He was doing great catering, people were raving about him, I knew him a little bit. So I invited him to be a partner, and an old friend of mine. And the three of us started Just Desserts in 1990. And it was a sensation. We didn't make much. Because to be honest, opening a restaurant, and I say this to all would-be restaurateurs, it's a fascinating, exciting industry, but it's tough. When you first start, it's the hardest industry in the world when you first begin. So start slow.
So, A.D., you and Olive are almost synonymous too as name. And over the years, Olive has spread across Hyderabad, Goa, Mumbai, and all the major cities that you could think of. What does Olive mean to you? And how did you come up with this name, Olive?
Olive is very, very closely wrapped up with my life, my identity. I think I didn't start it for that reason. I didn't realize it for a long time. But the joy that we've given people in India across all these cities over so many years is lovely. It's so satisfying. We've actually made a difference in people's lives for so many, many years. I could tell you so many stories of friends who were going to move back to the West where they came from and stayed back only because of Olive being in their neighborhood, the friends they made there, the comfort, the home away from home it was. I have friends who met their wives there, and so on, so many stories. So that's a wonderful feeling for me. It's a wonderful part of the legacy that I leave behind. And Olive and me are very wrapped up with all that.
When you see the diverse culinary landscape across the country, how do you navigate across and how do you make sure that you are touching every nerve in every city that you're opening and you hit the right chord?
So it's true, Ayandrali. India is very diverse. We have many states, many cultures, many cuisines, tastes, etc. At the same time, there's a lot of similarity everywhere as well. And even for me and all of us restaurateurs, I guess we sort of learn as we go along and try and tweak, adjust from our learnings. But what's been very satisfying for me, Olive, for example, has been a huge hit nationally from day one.
Yes.
With our Indian brands, like for example, you mentioned the new Monkey Bar. The menu we have in Bangalore, we've tweaked it for Delhi. Because in Bangalore, in that menu, we've got a lot of street favorites, old favorites, which we've served up in a restaurant way. People in Delhi won't connect to those. So we've looked at a different set of favorites here. So yes, we do try and adjust to taste per region as we go. But we're also gratified to find similarities. For example, Soda Bottle Upnawala, an Irani cafe, serving Bombay street food, Irani food, etc. That struck a chord from day one all across India. And to a lot of the regions of India, they don't have Irani cafes like Bombay does.
Right.
Mondiga, Leopold's, Ideals, so many more Kianis.
No.
But yet they're really connected to the food, the experience that we put together. And it was a big hit from day one. So yes, India is very diverse and you must understand that, work with that. But at the same time, I think if you do good products, good quality consistently, it will work anywhere in India.
In a hectic competitive industry like F&B where you every day has to keep moving, understanding what's going on and you're always on the move and rush, how do you maintain to stay calm and a proper balance and yes, enjoy your coffee at least?
Thanks, Andrea. Thanks for bringing that up. Because I would say to all of you who are working so hard, building your own careers, make sure you keep a good work-life balance. Don't ever do, I'll do this when I retire. Do it today. My own balance, yes, I do try to do some sports almost every day, whether it's gymming or tennis or yoga, but something. You need to be healthy. I read a lot, especially when I'm flying. I read to myself at night. And of course, the biggest de-stressors are my kids. So with all that, I work very hard. But that's the other thing I'd say to you is try and find something that you're passionate about.
Through pandemic, through rush hours, through everything, how have you seen the industry transforming itself? And how did you come up with how did you cope up with the challenges if there was any?
I guess the learning we got from the pandemic was something we never expected, but it happened and it's made us all more resilient.
True.
What was lovely though was post-pandemic, we were all in a difficult time. We had debts and uncertainties, insecurities. We were all very low on our teams. But what happened, because people were locked up for 2 years almost, they came back with a vengeance.
Exactly.
What they said, revenge dining.
Yes.
We've never seen the numbers we'd seen up to that point in our restaurants, people coming. You have to understand that for people as well, they got a big jolt. Suddenly there was no confidence in a long life expectancy. Secondly, what they were doing their life savings for, somewhat was for what?
Exactly.
So therefore, Indians, the reason what's helped us through so many crises, we save a lot. And so it was great for the F&B industry, for travel, for hotels, post. Now it's been about 3 years plus, that revenge dining boom has slowed down. What instead has happened is that seeing that boom, a lot of new places have opened. So we're back to being in a competitive market but a good quality market. I think for the diner, it's never been as good as it is today.
If I have to ask you, with this new monkey bar that you have reinvented, the menu, the look and everything, and other places, what goes behind this whole brainstorming that happens while you're reinventing, rethinking and repositioning a place, a brand?
After 33 years in the industry, that the youngsters of today, it's too much of a gap.
Yeah.
So there are few things that I incorporate into the way we run the company, we build the company. One is we try to bring young people on board. Mm-hmm. My sister's daughter was with me for 9 years, Mitali. That helped a lot. My nephew in Hyderabad, Shahs, they were all in their late 20s at that time. And so we're constantly trying to bring young people and to listen to them and marry their feedback with our wisdom and experience to be relevant for all ages in the audience today. I'm not one of those who's junking, our regulars who've got a bit older and chasing the young. No, not at all. For me, I think the young is a nice new market. I'm not one of those who prioritizes only the young and doesn't focus on our regulars and old-timers. I think it's great to have a new audience and they add on to what we've always had. But I make sure that my teams are as focused on the customers who've got us to where we are. Meanwhile, trying to understand and welcome and bring in the new audiences that are coming in.
Okay, maybe the most obvious question, why a Thursday night? People generally do a Friday or midweek or something about why did you pick up a Thursday as a day? Anything?
See, Friday, Saturdays are anyway popular. Everybody goes out.
You wanted to go a little different?
We wanted to build a night where and try to make it our own.
Okay.
And worked very hard on that through the years. And it's always it's not easy though. We've tried the same thing in other cities, other brands. Not easy to recreate that magic.
True. So moving out of Olive, we have seen many chefs who have carved a very good path for themselves. How do you foster such amazing culinary talent? I mean, a lot of chefs today in the country can proudly say that they have Olive on their CV.
So, I think your audience will laugh, but I'm actually not a good restaurateur. I'm not a businessman or a chef. I think luckily what's worked so well for me over all these years is that from day one I built a culture that really valued people, my teams. As a result, we have by far the biggest bench strength at the top of any F&B company in the country. My top people and even some of the people on the floor have been with us for like 20 years. That again is unheard of, attrition, turnover, especially when you have a good brand, everybody wants you. But they've stayed with their offers. And I really feel our success today is largely because of that. So because of that thinking and ideology for the company, we tried to look after our best people. In fact, all our people from day one, we highlighted our best people. We showcased them. We let the world know it wasn't about A.D. Singh, but about this star chef or that star manager. To be honest, that's also the only way to keep them.
Right.
If you're going to try to hide them, how are they going to meet their own goals?
True.
I deeply believe it was a win-win. They've grown, they gave us so much. They helped us get to where we are today. We helped them get to where they are today, They always had great potential. I think Olive gave them the platform for the first few years of their career. And now they are. Sabi, Manu, Vikram, Anaita are taking it further and further.
If I see A.D. Singh dining in Delhi, what are the 3 places A.D. will be going?
I have just a few places that I do like to go to, only because of paucity of time. There's so many good ones. But, one of the people I look up to in a big way is Rohit Khattar from as a person, we're close.
Right.
I really admire him. And I'm a very big fan of actually what his son opened, which is Cormoran in Gurgaon. I think it's fantastic.
Right.
Then I like these small places that are run by their owners, like Platts close by.
Yes.
It's always a nice experience. Lovely chatting to that couple.
How about Mumbai dining?
In Mumbai, I'm a big fan of Gauri Devdiyal. My family celebrated everything at the table over the years. But I tend to go to the Mac Street Cafe in Colaba all the time. It's just spot on for being casual, comfortable, great food. So more Swati snacks.
Okay, yeah.
So we do have a lot of meats there, and it's become they both become a huge family favorite.
What are the 3 fun facts that we don't know about him?
But I'll tell you one fun twin fact. One day I sat down in Bombay, the day I decided to move to Delhi to open this gorgeous olive. I sat my wife and my mother down at that time, and I said, I made up my mind. I'm going to move to Delhi to open this olive there and build a life that way. Same day, at the lunch table in his house, my twin sat his wife and daughter down and said, guys, big step. I've made up my mind. We're moving to Amsterdam for a couple of years. I'm going to take up this job off.
Wow.
Incredible. Same day, same conversation. So many things like that have happened with my twin. So that's been a lovely part of my life to date. That's a fun fact for you. Secondly, interestingly, I don't know how to cook worth a damn. I never learned. My mom tried to teach me when I went to America. I don't know why. You get so much food there. I can't cook. And the third thing, which you might find funny for somebody with all these restaurants, all these cuisines, is always sampling. My favorite snack is probably popcorn. It's my favorite junk food. I feel it's light, not too unhealthy. And my family makes a lot of fun for me because of that.
Great. Thank you, Adi, for giving us a very precious time, a precious moment, and disclosing and talking to us in a very hearty chat. And we really enjoyed it. And to many more olives and to many more happy places to eat, dine, and for all of us to enjoy. Thank you
very
Adi.
much. Thank you, Ayandrali.